Hi, I'm Quinn, and this is Lucy, and we're going to be reading What Do You Do with a Tail Like This by Steve Jenkins and Robin Page. Let's get started. This might take a while. Animals use their noses, ears, tails, eyes, mouths, and feet in very different ways. See if you can guess which animal each part belongs to and how it is used. At the back of the book, you can find out more about these animals. Here, maybe I'll try to show it a little bit better. What do you do with a nose like this?
Well,
You don't have to answer that one yet. If you're a platypus, you use your nose to dig in the mud. If you're a hyena, you find your next meal with your nose. If you're an elephant, you use your nose to give yourself a bath. If you're a mole, you use your nose to find your way underground. If you're an alligator, you breathe through your nose while hiding in the water. What do you use your nose for?
for smelling things.
Yeah.
And to
So-
make sure that dinner's ready.
So that's right. The scent reaches your nose, and then what happens? Yeah.
And then-
What? And then what?
Does it? I have no idea if this is correct or not.
It's okay.
Or even close, but
Yeah.
does it touch your nerves or something to make you smell something?
Good job. Yeah, you have something called sensory neurons in your nose, and those sensory neurons can detect there's something there, but then they send that message through your nervous system, through your nerves to your brain, and then what do you think your brain does?
It tries to figure out what it
Yes. Yeah, we call that it's interpreting, or it's trying to figure out what's going on out there. Can you think of why that might be a good thing for your body to do, your sensory neurons in your brain? Why would that be good for you?
It would be good if you're in the jungle or something, because then you can smell food around you.
Yeah, that'd be great for an animal, right? So we like to smell our dinner, and then we can also tell if the dog threw up, right? Because we can smell it. But if you're an animal in the jungle, then you can smell food. So you can
I
find
thought
food.
of the nerve system because I'm thinking of how when you're hurt, it's your nerve system thinking that this could do something bad.
Right. Pain is an important thing that our nervous system interprets so that we know you need to get help. You need to get a doctor, you need to get a Band-Aid or something, right? Don't walk on your leg anymore, it's broken. Okay. What do you do with ears like these? Can you guess what some of these animals might be based on their ears?
This looks like a hippo
What makes you think it's a hippo?
because it's gray and hippos don't really have big ears, and it just looks like a hippo. You can kind of see its eye.
Yeah.
And then this is a bunny.
Okay. What makes you think it's a bunny?
Because, first of all, I can see fluff,
Mhm.
kind of, and they're long and big with a small head.
Yeah.
And this looks more like a foot, but it's an insect
Oh.
of some sort.
How come you know it's an insect?
Because nothing else that I know of has a leg like that or ear like that, and they don't really have every different piece of its ear or part of its body is a different shape and
Different segments.
but with our legs it's pretty similar. It's like a normal.
Yeah, but that would be normal for maybe an insect.
Yeah,
Yeah, good. You're doing something that scientists do a lot. And so you're looking,
Hypothesis?
hypothesis is a great word. What you're doing, you're kind of hypothesizing, but what you're doing is you're looking at things and you're making connections to things that you've seen. You're looking at them and you're looking for patterns and things that you notice and things that you're connecting to. Do you know what that's called when scientists are like looking at something, or sometimes they smell something or feel something to get information?
The connecting part, I remember getting taught it. It's like book to heart or something.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, like text connections.
Mm-hmm.
So book to self, or
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're talking about text connections, which is great. What I'm talking about is called observation or observing. You might have been overthinking it, but when we're observing, we're noticing things, we're looking at things, we're taking in information using our senses. So when you're looking and looking at and seeing something, that's called a qualitative observation. You're using your senses to get information. Do you know what it's called when an observation involves numbers or measurement? This is going to be a big seventh grade word. It's called quantitative. Like the N in quantitative is
quantitative, and I thought quantum realm.
It's like quantity. The N stands for numbers. That's how I try to remember. But that's a big seventh grade word.
And this is a whale.
Why do you think that?
Because I think it's like one of those gray whales. I think because a gray whale has like some bumps on it, and it's kind of spotted.
Yeah.
And they have big noses and mouths like that.
Mm-hmm.
With small eyes near their mouths.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I have no idea what that is.
It's hanging upside down for a reason.
Bet.
Yes. Good. Okay. If you're a jackrabbit, you use your ears to keep cool. That's interesting.
Like a fan? Like
Yeah.
a fan?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, or even like shade or
So
coverage.
it's right
maybe.
on that one.
Mm-hmm. If you're a bat, you see with your ears. They live in the dark and they don't have good eyesight. So they use their ears to listen to where things are. So they'll chirp, and then they can hear how far away the wall is or how far away something is because of when it bounces back to them. Isn't that crazy? If you're a hippopotamus, you use your ears when you're underwater because they're at the top of their head, right?
Yeah.
It's like frogs, their noses at the top
then
and their eyes.
Their heads are sometimes underwater, and then if they hear something, they can.
Yeah.
I was right. It was a humpback whale.
Yeah, you hear sounds hundreds of miles away. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Hundreds of miles. That's so crazy. That'd be like
a whale or something.
From here to grandma's house, you could hear a sound if you were a...
Which grandma?
Well, maybe Grandma Sue, but that might be a little too far. I don't know how many hundreds of miles, but definitely Grandma Diana. If you're a cricket, you hear with ears that are on your knees. You were right that was a leg, a segmented leg on an insect. Good observation.
I wonder why they have like big legs and then small legs. I think it's because they like have to push up.
Yes, I think you're right. They need the power in their back legs. What do you do with a tail like this?
Scorpion to poison their enemies.
Yep.
And stuff.
Yep.
Giraffe
Venom.
to
What do horses use their tails for?
slap.
Yeah,
Slapping the flies away.
I think that might be it. I had to pee.
Monkey for climbing on to help if you like fall. You can grab the branch with your tail.
Mhm.
That's I think a skunk because it's striped, and they use it to spray kind of.
For protection.
This looks like a lizard or a snake. And if it was a snake, then it helps to slither. If it's a lizard, it's...
Well, let's find out. If you're a giraffe, you brush off pesky flies with your tail. Yeah. If you're a lizard, you break off your tail to get away. So something can grab them, like a bird or something can grab their tail and they can get away. They can break off their tail. Do you remember that little lizard that Dad found the other day? It didn't have a tail. I'll show it to you in a second.
Tell me.
I'll show you the video.
He didn't show me the lizard, but I didn't.
It didn't have a
But I saw
tail,
them
so
there.
something must have tried to grab it and it got away. If you're a skunk, you lift your tail to warn that a stinky spray is on the way. It's like, get away from me if my tail is raised. If you're a scorpion, your tail can give a nasty sting. If you're a monkey, you hang from a tree by your tail.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the giraffe's long neck. I'm going to teach you something that
I
is
know why.
very 7th grade. Are you ready for it? Why is the giraffe's neck so long?
To reach the trees
Mm-hmm.
and maybe so that the predators can't really reach your head has things that you really need to help you a lot.
Yeah.
And so maybe
Like you wouldn't
it's
want your brain
tall
to get
also so it doesn't get hurt as easily.
Interesting. Yeah, that kind of makes sense too. So it could hurt its foot, but that wouldn't kill it. But if you hurt its brain, oh, that's a good idea. Did you know that millions of years ago, giraffes' necks were not that long? They weren't. So how over millions of years did giraffes' necks get longer and longer and longer? Well, if they eat leaves
I was
and
gonna say they breathe more air, but that more animals have live now, so they would get smaller because there's less air now.
less air? You
Like-
mean because we have polluted air?
Like a long time ago, things like I don't know, centipedes and stuff like that were a lot bigger because there was more air. So if they were bigger then, they would get smaller. But I thought of that, but then I realized I had to get smaller.
Okay. So giraffes eat leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if there are a bunch of giraffes and they all want the leaves? Who is more likely to get more leaves? The giraffes with longer necks or the giraffes with shorter necks? Yeah.
Depends how big the trees are.
Well, and
how many
for
there
any
are.
for any tree, the one with a longer neck is going to be able to reach more leaves than the one that's
Yeah.
shorter, right? Because they can reach the ones that are low and the ones that are high, right?
Yeah.
So the long necked giraffes, this is the 7th grade idea. This is called natural selection. Don't look at me like that.
I was thinking
You
of
can get
something
this.
that's kind of like I saw a test answer and it was about what giraffes do and
Mhm.
it showed 3 pictures. A small giraffe couldn't reach the leaves. It
Oh.
died.
Right. The other ones keep eating.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the idea, natural selection. So the ones who have had longer necks in that population, just naturally, they were more likely to survive. So guess who had babies?
Bigger.
The bigger ones with longer necks. So then guess what the next generation
But-
had?
I don't get it because how do the kids they can't reach the leaves?
Right. Well, they get help when they're younger. So their parents take care of them. What do baby giraffes get? How do they get nutrients? Milk. Yeah. Until they're
And
old
milk.
enough. Yeah, until they're old enough to reach. And then, but even then, you're right that the younger ones have a hard time. They have a hard time until they get bigger. And then, but then when they grow up to be adult
'Cause then
giraffes, they
it's
have
hard
longer
to
necks.
The milk anyway because the other giraffes are tall.
Yes, they are tall, but then they have taller babies, and then those babies grow up to have longer necks, and then they have babies with longer necks, and so that's how animals adapt. That's the 7th grade word. They adapt through natural selection. Okay, we're moving on. What do you do with eyes like these?
An eagle uses it to look for fish in the water and look for any predators or anything like that.
That's a good word. Predators. What is a predator?
It's something that eats another animal.
Good. Yep. Okay, what else? That's still a 7th grade word. That word is going to be in your 7th grade textbook.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying because they are words I don't know in a book, and they're not in the dictionary. And then words like predators
You
are
see it
in
all
the
the time.
dictionary.
Yep. What do you do with eyes like these?
And then that looks like an eye from a show that I watched.
Okay.
It was something like an I or an at. No, I almost said at.
From Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
That lizard. I've seen that lizard before.
It does something crazy with its eyes.